Now we want to see the new version of Joshua. You see Joshua in the last fight.
Looks good.
Yeah, it's so good. I tell him, keep this coach with you. The trainer is good.
Ben Davidson.
Yeah, he's changing Joshua. And he's focusing now. And he's seeing the right way now for him. If he success, the big fight against the result of Tyson and Ozzy. And if he doesn't success, still the people support.
Those are the words of Turki Alalshikh as he was in the interview, or was being interviewed by Ade. Shout out to Ade. And of course, he said Ben Davidson has changed Anthony Joshua, and he should keep Ben Davidson as his trainer. And let me counterpunch. Ben Davidson did a good job with Anthony Joshua. I think they had a nice connection. They gelled together, Joshua and Davison. Even though Davison himself has said, well, you know, I didn't do anything. It was all AJ. I mean, this is what's expected. I didn't, you know, I just aided him to do what he already knows how to do. So I think he was being modest. However, let me counterpunch. That's what trainers are supposed to do anyway, especially with dealing with a fighter that's already experienced, that has been with 3 or 4 other trainers before him, that already knows certain things and techniques. You know, Joshua recently said, hey, I like Davison because he doesn't try to change you. You know, and I think he said that simply because Joshua was enlightened, okay? The bandana was snatched from his eyes. He's a big guy. He's a massive unit. He's supposed to fight the way he's supposed to fight. That worked well for him, and I think he got it. I think sometimes, you know, you think something's very complicated, but it's the most simplest things or comments that are told or instructed to you that help you the most. And it may not seem much, but it did wonders for what you think it wouldn't do. Simply because it's like, hey, well, look, you don't have to fight like behind the back foot and do all this and that. You're Joshua. And I think Joshua was trying to change his style. And I think Turki Alalshikh seen that. You know, and it's like this. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But was it broken to begin with? And the answer is yes. It was broken. Not physically, but mentally. Because if Joshua thought and felt he had to turn into a black version of Vladimir Klitschko in order to be successful, or in order to reinvent himself, he was mistaken. He just needed to be smarter with the shit he did. There was nothing wrong with Anthony Joshua's style. That Andy Ruiz fight stopped his growth, or really stopped his journey, simply because he made a mistake. And the type of mistakes that he made was being overzealous and leaving himself open. That's it. He knew how to fight. Okay? He knew exactly how to fight southpaws. You know, you think that fight with Alexander Usyk, you think that wasn't hindered by past time mistakes, or that Andy Ruiz fight? Of course it was. You know what I mean? That's why he was constantly trying to figure something out, because the tentativeness, let me say that again. The tentativeness, there we go, of Joshua caused a lot of apprehensiveness for him not to throw shots, okay? And because he couldn't throw shots like he should have threw shots, he wasn't flowing the way he should have flowing, because it wasn't natural. It was hindered, and it was stopped. It was slowed down based on apprehensiveness, based on, hey, I'm not confident that this will work. But needless to say, he was in there with Usyk, so what do you want? You know? But his mindset, like, oh, I'm not going to go in there and do this. I think what happened with Ben Davidson telling him, Joshua, be yourself. You know what I mean? Go in, be menacing, stand your ground, Get your shots off. You know, it's nothing wrong with being aggressive and offensive, but responsibly. That's what he did. That's what he showed AJ. And, you know, a lot of people seen it. That's why people are saying AJ's back. Well, in theory, he is. You know, that's why he likes Ben. He's like, well, Ben ain't trying to tell me something new. He's trying to tell me something that I already knew. If that makes sense to anybody. Okay? And Turki wants him back, and I say this. Why not? The only way we're going to know if AJ is back or this was a mistake going with Ben, go back with Derrick James, and if he starts trying to fight like he used to, it was a mistake. That means he should have stayed with Ben. However, I'll say this. Eventually, there's a possibility in the future that a fight may happen between him and Tyson Fury. Depends on who wins. If Tyson Fury beats Usyk, he may be out the window for a Joshua fight, unless Joshua takes out Ngannou. If Joshua takes out Ngannou and then he beats Usyk and he decides not to fight AJ, people are going to turn on him again. That's how it works, because Joshua will then be the guy, or known as the guy that beat Tyson Fury, right? And if Tyson Fury feels, based on his ego or bravado or whatever, that he doesn't have to fight AJ due to the fact that he decisioned Ngannou and beat Usyk, the guy that beat Anthony Joshua, well then, guess what? He will then say, I don't have to fight him. That's what I see. However, things change in many ways. Saying all that to say this, people. If he does fight Tyson Fury and he does decide to stay with Ben Davidson, what will Ben Davidson do? Something that he hasn't revealed, and that makes me wonder about Ben Davidson. And I know it's a tough spot for Ben because that is his friend. Bars. However, you're a professional and you have to make a decision. And I think and I felt that Ben Davidson should have had no question answering that question about training AJ in preparation to fight his friend Tyson Fury. That's my only problem with Ben Davidson, because the hang-up, the friendship with Tyson Fury, a particular fight that possibly, may happen because people want it to happen. We ain't seen the Deontay Wilder fight fell through. So what other fight is it? Okay, what other big British fight can we possibly make? Joe Joyce? No, he's in recovery mode. Zhang, he's not British. Who else? Dubois, he's still in recovery mode. Okay, by his latest win over Jarrell Miller. So listen, there's no other big stars left out there anyway. That's the biggest fight you could possibly make. And it's all about money in the sport of boxing. Okay? So that's the biggest fight that can be made, and Ben Davidson shouldn't have brushed that off like he did. That's my only concern with him. Otherwise, I say he's a good fit for AJ. You guys tell me what you think of Turki Alalshikh's desire for Ben Davidson to stay with Anthony Joshua, or Anthony Joshua to stay with Ben Davidson. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!